My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of Adam McKay's filmography from worst to best. And Adam McKay can be a really funny writer and a good director. But unfortunately, in the past 10 years, he's taken a tone that I'm not a fan of. He's always been political to some degree, but now it's just so heavy handed and he just comes across as so smug. And let's just get to it, beginning with his worst movie and its vice. Now, to be fair, there are some decent performances. The makeup is good in this movie, and there's a few amusing moments, but this movie is just so one sided. I'm not the Dick Cheney expert, but even I could tell you he's a corrupt politician. But this movie only ever comes across like Republicans are corrupt, while the Democrats are good people who will make everything right. And it's just so disingenuous. If you're going to make a movie like this, try to go for some sort of balance, because the way it plays out, it just feels smug and like he's looking down on anyone watching this movie that doesn't vote the way he does. And it's just very heavy handed, and I think this movie is boring. It tries to be this fast paced, quickly edited movie, but I could not engage with it. I really hate this movie, and it's Adam McKay at his absolute worst. So that's why it's in last place. His second worst movie is Don't Look Up. Now, I watched this movie when it came out. I did not rewatch it for this list because I didn't like it. I don't want to waste my time rewatching this movie. And I'll give the movie this, is that I think there's some smart satire here. I think Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill gave good performances. And I like the bittersweet nature of the ending. But my issue with this movie comes from how one note it is. The movie is just people screaming about an asteroid coming to Earth, and that's it. That's all this movie has to offer. And at 90 minutes, I could maybe tolerate it. At almost 2.5 hours long, this movie more than overstays its welcome. It just gets frustrating. It's just Adam McKay screaming at the audience the entire time and trying to compare an asteroid coming to Earth to climate change is so disingenuous, and even trying to make it seem like doctors are always good people and they can't be corrupt. It's only the evil politicians. That's also disingenuous. Like, I feel like his movies are just so imbalanced. They're dishonest, they're disingenuous, and this movie also isn't all that funny either. And as much as I like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, this is one of her weaker performances. So, yeah, I'll probably never watch this movie again. So that's why it's his second worst. Then you've got The Big Short. And look, I like this movie enough. It's well made. I think the movie has some good performances, with Ryan Gosling being the standout. And I like how he makes the economic crash accessible to the audience. If I could understand this movie, then almost anyone can. But this movie doesn't really stay with you. Like, I watched this movie and filmed my review a couple hours later, and I'm like, yeah, I like this movie. And then I just never thought about it since, until now. So, like, it's fine while you're watching it. It's engaging enough, but it's just very... And it's educational, but it's just not great. Great movies stay with you, and you think about them. And the emotions they made you feel, and that isn't this, but it's fine enough. Then we get The Other Guys in fifth place, which I think has a great performance from Dwayne Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson. Like, these two crack me up, and that aim for the bushes scene is just comedy gold. I do think Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg are pretty decent in this movie. There is some funny moments, especially the pimp storyline. But this movie just kind of gets old. It overstays its welcome, and the first half is definitely superior to the second half. And at that point, it just becomes painfully unfunny. So it's entertaining enough, but it's very uneven in its quality. Then in fourth place, we've got Talladega Nights. And I love the story here. About a man who has created an artificial life for himself. And when he hits rock bottom, him trying to rise from the ashes. I really like everything this movie is doing on a character level. I think Will Ferrell gives a great performance. John C. Reilly is good. And this movie definitely has funny moments, but it also has lots of not funny moments that try to be funny. I do think it overstays its welcome a bit, and it just ends up being fine. I still like it, but it doesn't get to greatness. My third favorite Adam McKay movie is maybe a hot take, but it's Anchorman 2. Everyone seems to hate this movie. I enjoy it. I think it's funny. I think the satire on the 24-hour news network is actually really well done. I think Will Ferrell is hilarious once again. I enjoy Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, David Kushner, and Christina Applegate in this movie. I thought, James Marsden's also great as well. You've got a bunch of funny scenes like when he smokes crack on air, or when everybody's laughing hysterically at Garfield. That's great. It definitely overstays its welcome. I feel like the last act could have been trimmed down severely, but I still enjoy this movie. I feel like it gets far too much hate. My second favorite Adam McKay movie is Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. And I think I gave this movie a 7.5. I would maybe drop it to a 7 because I do like this movie. I think it's funny. It makes me laugh. I just don't think it's this laugh wide. Will Ferrell is great in this movie. Christina Applegate is really good, and even though this movie is mocking conservatives, it does so in a very entertaining way. I think the movie's got lots of great lines. The supporting cast, like Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, David Kushner, all do a great job. And I just love the over-the-top aspects of this movie. Not every joke lands, but enough do for a very good watch. But then we get to my favorite, and it's easily Step Brothers. First of all, this is the only, maybe, non-political movie of Adam McKay, and I also think it's his funniest. So maybe there's a connective tissue there, possibly. But yeah, this movie still cracks me up. I watched it a few days ago, and I was just laughing hysterically. When they go to the job interviews in tuxedos, fantastic. When they make the bunk beds, fantastic. I'm not going to call him dad, that cracks me up. Just every line, every scene is great. It's a really funny comedy. I think Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly give terrific performances. I love Adam Scott as the douchey brother. It's just so over the top and ridiculous and stupid and cringy, and it just leans into it as much as possible, and you've got yourself Adam McKay's smartest script. And I just find that to be amusing. Like, this is the most rewatchable movie of his. It's just fantastic. It's highly entertaining, and it's easily my favorite of the bunch. So that's my ranking of Adam McKay's movies, but what's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.